Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for checking out the video today. I'm going to do a follow-up video on this Makita impact driver I've got. I did a couple other review videos and there were some questions about the way the auto stop mode works and maybe why it's functioning or maybe why it's not functioning. So I wanted to just do a real short video with a sample fastener here set up in my vise and just show kind of three scenarios of how it'll work and how best to use your tool. So again, this is the Makita XWT14 1/2-inch impact driver. This is the one with the friction ring anvil. They also have the XWT15, which is the detent pin. This I went with the friction ring, which I've liked. So I'm not doing a review here. I have two other videos that you can go to for more in-depth details and my thoughts on this tool, but I'm gonna talk specifically just about the mode on here, specifically the auto stop mode. So what you can do with this tool is set it so that either when you're running the fastener down or taking the fastener off, you can have it auto stop when it runs all the way down or auto stop when it becomes loose. But there's kind of like a quirk to it of how to get it to operate properly. So I'm gonna run this all in speed 1 auto mode. So the way you get to that, let's say you were in, hopefully you can see this here, speed 4 in your normal impact mode. You click your mode button here on the right side. Maybe you can see it better here. This right side mode button, that's your auto mode. And then you can go from speed 1, 2, and 3. So you can see this second blue light up over here on the right side. That shows that you're in that auto mode. And I'm going to keep this just in auto mode 1. You do have auto mode 2 and 3 as well. But this is a pretty small fastener for a pretty powerful 1/2-inch impact. So I don't want to blast through the threads or anything on this. I just want to show how the mode actually works and how to kind of properly use it to get the best accuracy out of it. So again, just click your mode button over here. That lights up this blue light, and I'm going to be running in auto mode 1. So this is mainly an issue with, I think it's going to be for back in the fastener off as well, but I'm going to demonstrate it only for running the fastener down. So basically, to get this auto mode to work properly, you want to have a little bit of thread height left. So you want to start your nut on there, part way, just to get the thread started so you don't cross out anything. But you also don't want to run it all the way down like that and then do this to tighten it up and do that auto impact mode. So it works best if you just start it up here a little bit and leave yourself some thread length here for the nut to run down. And kind of what that does, to describe it, I think is just it gives the tool a little bit of time to think and react. So if you run it too close down, by the time the tool ramps up and everything, the nuts already ran all the way down, and then it doesn't stop as quickly as it would normally, and it can actually apply more torque than you're really expecting or wanting to that fastener and not really auto stopping like it should be. So I'm going to first test out how it should be done like this, and you'll see how quickly, once the fastener gets ran down, the tool cuts off. And then I'll show two other ways that it doesn't work as good and might be why some people are seeing issues. So again, the nuts just hand started. I'm doing auto mode 1 just to show how the mode works. And the key here, and I'll talk about this more in a minute, is that when we run it down here, we have that thread height, but we're also going to want to pull the trigger all the way. You're not going to want to slowly ramp it up, and you're not going to want to pull it just halfway. To get the auto mode to work properly, you want to just full blast it and let the tool do its own thinking. Don't slowly pull the trigger, and don't pull the trigger only halfway. So again, auto mode 1, a little bit of thread engagement, and I'm just going to pull the trigger all the way and let the tool do its own thing. And you'll see how quickly it reacts once it bottoms out and cuts off power. So here we go. So you can see that auto mode 1 is like perfect. It did like one impact once that bottomed out, and that's it. Just snug enough to button it all up, and then you can follow up with a torque wrench or by hand. But I'll do it one more time and just show you again how quickly it stops. Again, perfect. You know, 2 for 2. Only had one impact and it cuts out, you know, in perfect time. So what I'll do now is kind of thread this down further and give it less threads here. So now there's only, you know, a few threads left of engagement before the nut's all the way down. And I think what we're going to see here is, rather than instant stop after that first impact, it's probably going to impact a few extra times, and it might, you know, it's probably going to over tighten this for what you really want. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, so that was, it still works good and not really concerned, but the whole idea of the auto mode is to just run it down, stop, you can follow up with a torque wrench, and you can see with that, you know, with the nut further down, you had probably 5 impacts or 4 or 5 impacts before it actually shut off. So I think the whole idea is there that the tool didn't have as much time to kind of react or think and, you know, auto cut off. It's kind of like a period there where it's got to ramp up and be able to react. So if you have it too far down, the nut too far down, it's not able to do it as quickly. So I'll do it in the even worst case and just take it even closer, and it's probably going to impact even more. So we'll see. Again, just pulling the trigger all the way. Yeah, so same thing again. It's probably like 3, 4, maybe 5 impacts on it after it bottoms out, which still isn't bad, but you can see how it plays a difference there. And sometimes it might be over torquing this more than you really want for auto stop mode. Let's say like the torque on this was X amount of foot-pounds and you were going to come up with your torque wrench. Well, it might already be past that specified torque that you're looking to do, since you had it ran down too far and this impacted too many times. So by backing it off a little bit, just started enough so it doesn't cross thread, gives the tool more time to think, and it stops on that first impact perfectly. So we'll do it one more time with it higher up so you can see the difference. So we got more thread engagement here. I'm going to pull the trigger full speed. And you can tell, it maybe not tell as much in the video, but it definitely only a single split-second impact, and it completely cuts off, and I can feel the torque, you know, in the gun. It's not putting as much torque on that nut, which is I think what you want in that auto stop 1 mode. So the other scenario here so that's kind of the first thing of maybe why it's not working as good, or it doesn't seem to be accurate for some people. The second thing is what I discussed is if you're not pulling the trigger all the way, or pulling it too slowly, you really want to just pull that trigger all the way, let the gun do its own thing. But what I'll try now, I'll show it only pulling the trigger maybe like halfway, and you'll see it just doesn't work at all. So let's do that. So again, just pulling the trigger halfway. So obviously auto stop mode didn't work, it just kept impacting, and I think the key there, obviously, like I said, it's just you have to pull the trigger all the way, and you don't want to slowly pull it either. You just want to go full speed, and like I said, gun does all the work for you of cutting it off. So if I go back to again, pull the trigger all the way, maybe you can see my finger better now. Perfect. Now if I back it off and only pull it halfway, way too much torque on it, and it just keeps impacting. It doesn't auto stop. So 2 keys for getting the Makita Impact to work in that auto mode: pull the trigger all the way and rapidly, and then second thing, just leave yourself a little bit of thread height left so that it has some time to ramp up and think about itself and cut off and the right amount of impacts. Auto mode 2 and 3 are the same thing. You're going to want to follow those same 2 rules. They just applied more power. So auto mode 1 is just like a light impact, 2 would do a little bit more time, and 3 is again just a little bit more time. So you're kind of stepping up your amount of torque before it cuts itself off. But you're going to want to follow the same rules with speed 1, 2, and 3 of pulling the trigger all the way, as well as just leaving a little bit of threads on there so that the tool has time to ramp up. So I hope that helps some people. I kind of dealt with it a little bit when I first got it until I realized what was happening, and that those were kind of the keys to get the impact wrench to work the same. I don't think it's going to be unique to this impact wrench. Like I said, XWT14 1/2-inch. They have these auto modes in many of their other impact wrenches, as well as their impact drivers, their 1/4-inch impact drivers. So I think that rule of kind of following the full speed trigger and leaving some thread for the fastener to run in is going to kind of carry across all those different Makita tools, and you're going to want to follow that. So I thought, I hope that helps if anybody thinks their Makita Impact's defective. I thought some kind of quirky things were going on with mine initially, but after figuring that out, it's flawless. I could do this all day, sit here and pull the trigger all the way. It's going to stop on that exact perfect first impact every single time if you just pull the trigger all the way and let the gun do its own thing. That's the whole idea of the auto mode. If you do too much with the trigger, variable speeding it or not pulling it all the way, that's where it's not going to work properly. So like I said, I just want to do a quick touch on that. Hopefully that clears things up for some people out there, and it's going to be applicable to a lot of the other Makita impacts that have all these different auto modes on there. And like I said, it should be good if you follow those 2 rules. So appreciate anyone taking the time to watch the video. Appreciate anyone that subscribes or likes the videos or comments, and take it easy. Thank you.